Alrighty, so this is writing equations from a table and a graph. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is the table. This standard is A.2C. So A.2C is from a table, from a graph, and then from word problems. Word problems is another video. So whenever we are writing an equation from a table, the first thing we have to do, so step 1, is to find the rate of change, aka your slope. So that is why you had to make at least a 70 on the assignment A.3a, A.3b rate of change, because you have to have mastered slope before doing the assignment from before and then the next one. So whenever we're talking about slope, it's when we have 2 points. So remember the slope formula, and I'm going to write it on the side here, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where we need 2 points. And you could pick any 2 points that you want to. So here I have a table of values, okay, and all I need is 2 points. I'm going to choose the bottom 2 because they're positives. We could go with the above 2, but those are negatives. I know it's kind of hard to see. It may be a little fuzzy. Let me see if I can fix it. Okay, I think that's a little better. Okay, that's a little better. You need 2 points. Now you can pick the 2 from up here. Those are negatives. I don't like working with negatives, so I'm going to go with the bottom 2. So this is going to be x1. So this 1 is my x1. Because this is my x1, the 3 has to be my y1. And then this 2 is going to be my x2. And this is going to be my y2. So now we're going to have, according to the formula, y2 minus y1. So that's my y2, so 5, minus 3 on the top. And on the bottom, I'm going to take the difference of my x's. So 2 minus 1. And then we're going to find the rate of change. So hopefully you have the TI-84 calculator app installed in your Chromebook. If you do not have it, then let me know so I can message you the link. So we do, I know that was kind of fast, green button, and then the y equals. Doing that will give you n over d, and you can type in what you have on the top, so 5 minus 3 on the top, down arrow, 2 minus 1. Enter, and that is 2. So our slope here is 2. So my equation is going to start off with y equals 2x plus something. To find that something, we need to see if we have our y-intercept in the table, or if we have to use point slope. In this case, for this table right here, we have our y-intercept here. And I'll show you where. So to find the y-intercept on the table, you want to look for the 0 on the x's. So that's a -2, that's a -1, and that's a 0. So right here is your B. Whenever we have 0 on the table, we have our y-intercept. So here, when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. So that means our equation is y equals 2x plus 1. And that's our equation. Now, let's say we weren't given the y-intercept on the graph. Like problem number, I'm going to do this last one down here. Okay. Because here, if we look at the x values, we're not given a 0. Okay. So real quick, going up to here, to the second one. Here we are given the 0 right here. That means this is your B. Okay. That's how you find your y-intercept on a table. Let's go to where it's not. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is find the slope. So I'm going to have this be my x1 and y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to have 14 minus 12 and then negative 5 minus negative 6. Put that in the calculator. So 14 minus 12, down arrow, negative 5 minus negative 6. And make sure that you're using the correct negatives with it. If you get an error message, that means you press the wrong minus sign. So you do have to be careful with that. And the slope is 2 again. Okay, so once again, I'm choosing this one because the 0 isn't given here. So what we have to do is use point slope form. That is why the other assignments you had to have made at least, I think it was a 60 or a 70 in order to move on. Because you have to have mastered this. Now, I'm going to use the y1 right here. So y minus y1. So minus 12 equals m, which is the 2 that we have, parentheses, x minus the x1, which is negative 6. Whenever we have a negative number, it's going to be a plus. Okay. Now, some questions will have you stop here and then you're done. Some will not. Some questions have you go all the way. So that'll be y minus 12 equals 2x plus 12. And then one more step here. Add 12, add 12. Y equals 2x plus 24. And that will go here. Some questions have you write it in slope-intercept form, which is this one right here. Okay, and that is from a table. So when the y-intercept is not given, and when the y-intercept is. Okay, now let's look at a graph. So on the graph, it's pretty much almost the same process. The first thing you got to do is find your slope. You can use the slope formula, or you can do rise over run. The choice is yours. So if you do rise over run, you just have to be careful to find 2 perfect points. So here's my rise and my run. My rise is 1. It's supposed to be a 1, looks super tiny. And then my run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 1 over 5, if we try to simplify that, it's going to give us 1 over 5. So 1 over 5, or 1/5, is as simplified as a fraction is going to get. And then you find your y-intercept. So here it's your b, and that is the negative 2. So your equation is y equals negative 2x. Oh, not negative 2. My whiteout's a little messed up. I'm going to put 1/5. So 1 over 5x minus 2. This is our m, and this is our b. Okay, so let's look at number 4. Number 4 is a little different. On number 4, the first thing we have to do is find the slope. Here's a perfect point, and it looks like the slope is 1. However, it's going down. That means the slope is not 1, but -1. And then our b is 4. Where did I get the b from? Right here. So the equation is going to be y equals -x plus 4. So that's how you're going to see it. You're not going to see the 1 there. But I mean, if you want to put it on there, then that's fine. But just know this is how you're going to see it. Okay. Sometimes it's not going to be in this form. Sometimes it's going to be in point slope form. So that's how it's been tested these past couple of years. You're still going to have to find the slope. So here the slope is, I found my perfect points here. And it looks like the slope is 4. Okay, now in point slope form, sometimes you'll have a point. So let's say I want to pick this point. That'll be 2 and 4. Sometimes if you have your point, it's going to be written in point slope form. And that looks like this. So y minus, this is your x, this is your y, 4 equals 4, open parentheses, x minus, and the 2. So if you notice, I got the point from here and here. Sometimes it's going to be written in this form. And what you do here is just, you can either convert it to slope intercept or doing it backwards basically. So take out your point and seeing if it exists on the line. I'm going to try another one just like that one. So I'm going to give you the slope on this one. See if there's a point, yeah, right here. Oh, there's several. Looks like the slope is 1/2 here. And let's say I give you the point. What is that? -4, 2. So try and write this in point slope form. So I gave you the point and the slope. So you try and write it on your own or just think about it. So like, what's going to go here? What's going to go here? Okay. Alright, so hopefully you pause the video for a little bit just to see what your guess could be. So remember, this is your x. The x goes with the x. So because this is -4, in here we're going to have +4. And this is your y. So the minus sign stays there because that's part of the formula. -2. And that's how it'll look like in point slope.